Didn't get around to talking about this story, but I guess I will do it now. Ezra Miller, which, man, it is fascinating. We've covered his, you can't even call him outbursts. It's more, this guy's been an absolute menace. And over the last year or so, and it looks like he's going to get away with even some of the things that, he was committing crime after crime. He's getting upset with people playing darts at the bars and calling folk out of their name while running up into their hotels and stuff. Dude is out of his mind. But it doesn't look like, let's say this, regular people seem to not be able to get away with stuff like this, certainly without serving some sort of jail time. But in the case of Ezra Miller, as I update you on this guy's rampage, in the case of Ezra Miller, it looks like he's good. As documented by the Hollywood Reporter, Ezra Miller trespassing plea deal approved by the court. So the Flash actor will serve only 1 year probation and pay a fine and agree to not consume alcohol if it interferes with their employment. What that got to do with anything? And continue mental health treatment. So basically, he got a slap on the wrist. And it says the Flash actor in October pleaded not guilty to the charges, which included petty larceny and burglary, the latter of which carries a maximum sentence of 25 years. Miller, who asked the court to address him as Mix, I don't know how to say that, man. Mix Miller, is that how you say it? For those of you that can't see it, he asked the court because I guess, he doesn't go by he or whatever. So Ezra Miller is asked the court to address him as MX Miller. I don't know if that's Mix Miller or what, but I'm guessing that's what it is. Enter the courtroom at the beginning of the hearing, and the lawyer, they're going to say they, them, because I think that's the preferred pronouns here. Miller wore a black suit jacket over a black crew neck shirt and pants and a black face mask with their long hair pulled back. Under the deal, Miller agreed to plead guilty to unlawful trespass, a misdemeanor. So he copped the plea. So did he plead guilty or not? Because usually in typical cases, definitely in criminal cases, they'll give you the plea, and then I guess at some point he switched it, or they allowed him to. But usually if you're gonna plead not guilty, they're gonna throw the book at you. It's kind of how it works. Under the deal, Miller agreed to plead guilty. They will serve 1 year of probation and pay a fine of $500. That ain't nothing. So I'm thinking he done got hey, they had to tax him if he gonna stand out of jail. Them boys gave him a $500 fine with a surcharge of, so basically what is that? $692. The other charges are dismissed without prejudice, but the burglary charge can only be refiled if Miller violates the terms of the probation. A sentence of 90 days is suspended for 1 year, pending the successful completion of the probation. And Miller can also get credit for the treatment. The plea deal comes as Warner Bros. Prepares its promotional campaign for its big budget, The Flash movie. This is fascinating to me, man. You see this, Miller has been the subject of controversy over the past 12 months. Arrested twice in Hawaii, disorderly conduct, and harassment. And that was a karaoke bar incident. That was crazy because I think, like I said, the dart player wasn't even doing anything. He wasn't even part of the conflict, and he went at him. They were arrested again, April 2022. Alleged assault, where he hit a woman on the head at a private residence. And then in another one, the parents of an 18-year-old filed protection on Miller. The parents say the actor groomed their child from the age of 12. And the child has denied it. So he has a lot of things that he has problems with. Let's say that. Both criminally and just, I guess, personally, which apparently a part of this whole deal, he has to go get help, mental health. But I guess the true story here is that you are constantly reminded that these guys play by a completely different set of rules, especially for something like burglary. Anybody that does that, and this is what it is, Vermont. He put it this is in a Vermont court Friday, and he agreed to the plea deal, and it resolves a May 2022 incident in which they stole liquor from a neighbor's home. So a burglary charge, usually you're going to jail. Ain't no way around it. If they find you or you cop a plea, you're going to prison maybe, and. He's getting away with it. He's been documented with harassment. We know what he did. He's just throwing chairs at folk. I think that was the case where he hit the woman over the head on an absolute tear, and he did that in a short period of time. This wasn't like he was just doing that over the course of his life where it was time in between where he was acting right. He was acting up all, for the most part, in a year period. They play by a different set of rules. You may wonder, like, wow, with all those sorts of things going against him, you think this man is for sure going to have to spend some time. Because if you did it, especially with burglary, if you did it, you going to jail, homie. Ain't no way around it. I don't care who you get. You going to. They don't play by the same set of rules, bro. And this is why it's so easy for the Hollywood elites, definitely in the legal sense, to advocate some of the things that they got, because they don't play by those rules. Those rules are for the peasants. For you, the regular people, because they don't have to abide by any of that stuff. Such is life. Wherever you're viewing the content, I appreciate you. If you enjoyed it, you may be interested in my comic book company, Rippaverse Comics. Our first book and campaign, ISOM #1, brought in $3.7 million with tens of thousands of satisfied customers. Visit Rippaverse.com to check out our store and stay up to date with the latest campaigns from one of the hottest new comic book companies. Also, my first big step towards a parallel economy was the development of my personal website, ericdjuly.com. This entirely replaced my Patreon. Now, if you enjoy this content, please consider becoming a member over at the website. We have an ever-expanding list of perks for various membership tiers, a forum, and a phone app. Some of these perks will even benefit you if you're fans of the Rippaverse. Anyway, I appreciate you so much for being a supporter and or customer. I even got a little love for my haters.